Okay, I'm recording this. The Skype call is now being on
So
record.
you're recording what I'm saying to you right now?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm a celebrity.
Oh my god. Okay,
So,
what should we say? Hi.
what do you want to talk about?
Uh, um.
What, was that niggers you said?
Okay, I guess we're not posting this.
Right? We're going to start a new conversation, and it's going to be about something very, very important, viewers. So if you're listening to this, if you're just tuned into our podcast, we're going to be talking about a very, very sad subject, and that's about starving niggers in Africa. Now, I want to hear what James's view is on this. So, what would you do? What kind of scheme would you bring up to help these children who can't get clean water or proper food, sanitation? What would you introduce in Africa? What would you do?
Well, first of all, they always say, Shaniqua's village is 10 miles from the river. Why don't they move the river, like move the village closer to the river, so they're only like a couple minutes away?
That's a pretty good point, actually. Well, they could do man-made rivers where it connects to the channel and it comes to like a well or something
Or
like that.
Or maybe they do worse why wouldn't be like dirty if they didn't shit in the same place where they washed.
That's a pretty good point. Like, why would you want to shit in water when you could shit in a nice hole in the ground a few miles away? Like, I'd walk a few miles to have a shit. I don't want the stench of my shit coming into my little mud hut and waking me up.
But Nathan, the houses are made of shit as well.
Oh, my bad. I forgot, right? But, yeah, to put
Yeah.
them out of the misery, to be honest, if I had the power, I would,
You'd put them
I'd,
out of the misery.
yeah, by, nuking the area.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
So you would agree that that's the right thing to do?
Not, you know, nuking them.
What then?
I don't know.
Well,
Well,
we could like
you,
send a shipment of watermelons there, and yeah, that
watermelon.
that gives them plenty of food plus water because it's made of like water, isn't it?
Or maybe we could teach them to do things, because, like, yeah, of course, a lot of their places are barren wastelands. You could move to other places.
Where though, it's like all of it's a wasteland, man. They don't have boats, do they? Well, they have those little canoes out of wood, but that water take them across the Atlantic or whatever.
Well, I'm not talking about the Atlantic Ocean. I'm just saying it move a bit further, maybe to like a bit of a reservoir or whatever's there. Not a
There
reservoir.
are no reservoirs.
I know, like a river or a little lake,
No,
pond.
there's no ponds.
Yeah, there are some, like bits of water, stuff out there. Move to a stream if they have to.
Yeah. So like the subject we brought up the other day about uh, if there was an Adam and Eve, wouldn't there be a black Adam or black Eve and a black?
No, there isn't. No.
Well, in the Bible, they're depicted as two white figures. In everything, they're always white. So how did black people come on?
That's because the majority of Catholics are white.
Yes, but the Bible is not Catholic. It's Christianity.
The majority of Christians are white.
Yes, but how did black people come on the earth then?
Well, have you ever heard of a song called Darwin?
Well, listen to me, right? Just because you live in a hotter climate doesn't mean your skin will turn ash black.
Ash black. They don't live in volcanoes.
Well, I've seen an ash black person, right, and he was very black. I'm just saying, why would
Was
your
his name
skin
Ash
need
as
to go
well?
that dark? It's only a bit of sun, for God's sake. And
Ah,
where did full white people come from? Where did full black people come from? And where did the half where did the half breeds come from? Which is my
half breeds.
Well, they're like hybrids.
They're not dogs. They're not dogs.
Well, half caste. Well, they're like
yes.
They're like hybrids, aren't they? Of Underworld, if you've seen that film. Well, it's not a film. There it is.
I know what it is. Well, everyone used to be black, and then about 10,000 years ago, white people came in.
How?
Because colder climates, and they didn't need.
Bullshit. So
it's not.
If we was all apes, right? We're all chimpanzees, right?
Ah, yes.
How does their furry black skin turn into a full, nice, clean white thing?
God.
This is my theory, right? Listen
over time, they won't have as much hair.
No, listen, right? This is what happened. Two white people were doing it on the floor. And you know how dirty they have. It's like caveman times, and they don't know about sanitation. And the white guy... Don't interrupt me. The white guy rubbed his dick in some shit for some reason, then decided to fuck the white person. Now this is what happened. He fertilized the eggs, 2 eggs, because they're having twins. One egg got a bit of shit into the nucleus of the embryo, turned the skin colour black, and the other one was perfectly fine. It was white, and they were like, "Oh, what the fuck's this?" Then when they were born, the 2 babies shagged. That's how they created a half caste. And then that half caste had sex with the black person. They had a full black baby, and that's how the people came on. That's how all the different races came on. What do you think of that?
What about Chinese people?
Well, the white person migrated, like, they had loads of sex, so there was loads of white people eventually. Then they moved to different continents, right? And then...
Like China.
China was quite cold in the first stages of the Earth, right? It was quite snowy. And
the first stage of the Earth, it wasn't even China, it was all one continent.
Yeah, and what happened was, they found these Twinkies stashed in
Twinkies?
underground cave, right? And what happened was, they ate so much that all the fat deposits went to their eyelids and pushed down on their eyes. So then, you know, their eyes resemble Twinkies because they've been eating so much.
Twinkies, which were made in 1930. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, iPhones were out in the 1920s because it's been proven on this film. This guy was walking around past the camera, holding an iPhone in his hand.
Considering that mobile phones weren't even around then, that's quite...
Yeah, it's time travel. It's proven.
No, it's not. Time travel can't actually be possible.
Well, I watched a Futurama episode, and...
You watched an episode of Futurama?
Yeah.
That's obviously going to make it right then.
Right. Don't cuss me like that, right? So, Dr. Farnsworth and one of the guys off the baseball team, I don't know what baseball team is, and they said time travel was possible.
Well, that's a cartoon.
Well, you know.
I watched an actual scientific documentary, so time travel would be possible if you did time portals. But you'd have to do it, put it somewhere, and then you could go through it. If there was another one in that same place, and say in 10 years you could go there.
Well, do you know what my theory is on time travel?
Go ahead.
Right, this is what happens, right?
Okay.
So you have a 1p penny, or whatever. Any currency from any time generation. You flip the coin. Now, if it lands on heads, you're in a bit of luck because this is the only way that time travel can happen if you flip that coin onto heads. Now, what happens is, when you're flipping the coin, it's hitting all these particles, negative antimatter particles. That causes a rift.
Sure.
It rips. Yeah. There is antimatter, it's been proven, right? Because if there's matter, there's antimatter.
No, it is.
No, shut up. Right. So the coin flips. Now, in that vortex of when it's spinning, it causes friction and distortion of time because, well, I can't really explain it, but I've read about this. So it causes a shift in the atmosphere pressure, causes a rip in time and space. Now what happens is that head will land in your palm. The sweat particles will cause a exothermic reaction, and the head will burn onto your skin, and then the electron particles from that time shift, that time rip, will connect to the sweat particles, and if you put your hand through that time shift, there's like a computer, once you get inside this whole, like, you go to this wide open space,
Yeah,
you can type in where you want to go, and then there, boom, time travel.
Is it a QWERTY keyboard, or is it like does it work with any currency?
Yeah.
Or just so I thought you said it was just 1p, so it would work with like a 1 cent, or
Well, mostly with a 1p.
Ah, yeah. So, but if it lands on heads, how does the head land on you? So it would have to be tails up if the head burns into
No,
you.
but it lands on your palm. The head lands on your palm.
But you said if you have to land it on heads, so it would actually land on tails then.
No, it lands on heads.
No, it would land on tails if the head is facing down.
Yeah, the head's meant to face down in Moog.
No, it's like saying calling heads and then like it lands.
No, the head.
So if I flip,
the head has to land on the palm with the tail facing up.
I've got a 1p here. So heads or tails?
Oh, you'll do it wrong, man.
Heads or tails?
Well, do you want to time travel or not?
No, just fucking heads or tails.
I said tails.
Tails. And landed in my hand. And gosh, you said tails, but obviously, the way you're explaining it, tails is facing up, but it's the way that's facing down that's important, so you get it wrong. You lose.
No. Well, you give me the explanation of time travel. Mine was a very logical explanation there.
No, it wasn't. You flip a
get Callum in. We need to get him on this podcast. Jeez.
We've only got 3 minutes left, so...
You can only record for like 10 minutes.
15. Plus you don't want to go else for...
Dumb. Well,
I'm
I just proved how you time travel. Booyah.
So have you done this?
I've studied it in
okay.
college.
So
my coursework.
What exactly do you study in college?
Time travel.
That's which exam board is that?
We've all time travelled in our class.
But you just said you didn't do it. You have?
I can tell you what happens to you in 15 years.
And you didn't think about telling me this before, or?
No, you didn't bring it up, did you? Well, it depends what I can tell you, because if I tell you some things, you will change what happens in time, and then you'll destroy the universe. Then
I'll destroy the universe.
If you change what happens, if you alter time, you'll cause a time paradox in the universe, ripping it into a black hole.
And then the Reapers come from Doctor Who and to kill whatever's changed. Yeah.
No, actually, the White Walkers from a Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, come out of the mist and kill you.
Yes, from a TV series.
So in 15 years, you'll be walking. You're not in England. You're in New York City, right?
I'm in New York.
A guy called Rip Van Winkle will approach you, right?
Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle, and he will give you a penny. Tell you to flip it, lands on heads. But time travel doesn't happen for you because you are special in a way, because time travel has no effect on you. You actually have a hidden ability to, if you prolapse your arsehole.
So Rip Van Winkle is a short story by the American author Washington Irvine, and there's a statue of him in New York.
I told you he was from New York. And
he has a really long beard.
This will happen. Type in James Leaper meet Rip Van, whatever his name was.
Well, this is all the time we've got. So, yeah.
Bye.
Bye. See you next time.